episode 7 of the Knit Now Swatch Later podcast. My name is Courtney, and today is Friday, January 17th. You can find me on Ravelry as Pup or on Instagram as Knit Now Swatch Later. This is a knitting, crocheting, sewing, and general craftiness podcast. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I am wearing my springtime sweater that I knit last year. I'll stand up so you can see it with the leaf. I love this little panel of leaves all the way down. And then there's a rib bottom. And I don't wear this sweater as much as I'd like to because the sleeves are massive. And I've been meaning to go back and rip them back a little bit and re-knit them, but we all know how I am about going back and changing things, so that's been on the back burner. It's wearable. It's kind of a pain to push my sleeves up all the time, but eventually I'll get sick and tired of it and I will go back. But I have a couple of things to show you guys today. The first thing being a finished object that I know we've been waiting for a long time. These are the Wonderland socks by Gandee. And this is my first finished object from the whip basket, you guys. Do you understand how exciting that is? So, and this is a huge accomplishment for me because I ripped back on the first sock. So this sock is the one that was almost finished the last time I showed it on the podcast. It just needed a heel. But if you look at this gingerbread man stitch marker, actually marks how far on this sock I ripped back and started over. So I knit this sock from scratch. This card progress keeper is where I was the last time I showed it on the podcast. So I made a lot of progress and I finished this sock, and then I said, this sock is way longer than this sock. So I ripped back to where my little gingerbread man is, and I knit back up the foot, and then I added in my heel, and now I finally have a finished pair of socks. It only took me like a year and a half, 2 years. That's not bad, right? So anyway, that's the only finished object that I have. And then I'm going to move into whips, and I picked up a whip that has been lingering for a while. I cast this on in November. Just trying to figure out my yarn situation here. And this is the Stoker shawl by Kristin Lehrer from the Voolenvine podcast. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but if you look, here is the 0 stitch marker from Simply Serving is marking where it was the last time I showed it on the podcast. So it's a good bit of progress, a good couple of inches. I think I'm on the last repeat of the garter, the garter section of the pattern, and then I will move on to the next section. So it's been slow going. Oops, just kicked the tripod. Oop, kicked it again. How do you like that? Take that, tripod. So there's I think I have like over 300 stitches on the needles right now, so each row is taking forever. And then between, I have 2 dogs and 2 cats and a husband that they're all sitting by me on the couch all the time. So 300 stitches is a lot to manage between everybody wanting cuddles and attention, and it's a lot. But I'm making progress, and that's what counts, right? So I wanted to mention Knitty Natty from the Love and Stitches podcast is having an unofficial knit along that I think I mentioned in the last episode. And basically the goal is to knit for 30 minutes a day for 30 days. And thanks to this knit along, that's why I finished those socks. I sat down and I was like, okay, Natalie, I can do 30 minutes a day for 30 days. Let's go. So I finished that pair of socks, and I've made a pretty good dent in my Stoker shawl as well. So I'm really excited to see how many more projects I can crank out in the remaining 28 days, maybe? I think today's day 12. So we'll see, but hopefully I wanted to pick up a lingering whip, and then I'll go back to whip basket stuff. But a huge goal for me this year is to crush that whip basket in the corner over there. It's in the corner of my craft room. So, and it seems like progress is being made, so that's exciting. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, I'm going to move into acquisitions, is my Yarnable subscription box for January. Here's the box. And let's see what's inside. I got this a while ago, and I opened it, and now I don't remember what was in here. So it's kind of like a surprise for me, too. Alright, so the first thing is this adorable snowflake progress keeper by Sammy Sews Creations. That is super pretty. I love the little sparkly snowflake. And I've been wanting to use this, but I left it all packed up in here so that I could show you guys. And then the next thing is this little pouch for thread snips, and it came with thread snips, which I love. You can never have, as a crafter, you can never have too many pairs of snips laying around. And I love that it has this little ring on here, so you can hook it onto your project bag, your key ring, whatever. And then the colorway for this month is called Sugar Plum. And you guys, this is so, I'm gonna pick off the little fuzzies from the bag. But this is the color. It is so pretty. I love, there's a close-up of the tag. I love the blues and the purples, and just, this would be like a really fun, like, hat, I think. I don't know. But, so that was exciting. And then I've been really good. I have not bought yarn in what seems like forever. I think I bought yarn. Never mind. We'll just pretend like I didn't say that, because I bought a ton of yarn in January, or in December. But I love Bad Wolf Girl Studios and all of her yarn. It's funny though, because I love her colorways, but I don't think I've actually knit with any of her yarn. I think that's not true. With Grace in Your Heart shawl, I'm using the colorway Silence in the Library, so that's not true. I have knit with her stuff. I just haven't finished anything with her stuff. That's the struggle. But anyway, when she announced on Instagram that she was having another Doctor Who themed mystery yarn, I had to jump on board. So if you bought this, I think it's supposed to be a surprise. So if you ordered this and it hasn't come yet, look away. But this is the Space for All colorway, and I got the one that came with the coordinating mini, and I think my favorite part is actually the mini, because I love this like golden color, but I do like the pinks and the bright pops of like yellow, so I'm pretty excited about this. I'm gonna probably make a pair of socks, because why not, right? So, and then that's pretty much it. This would be a pretty short episode, but I came up with a couple of other things to talk about. And if you guys are not interested, thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. But if you are here for the chatter portion of this episode, lately I've been doing a lot more reading. So I downloaded an app called Libby from my library, and I put in my library card because I've been trying to figure out how to read and knit at the same time. I'm not as talented as some of the people that they just have a book open on their lap and then they're knitting and they just go. I can't do that, especially like I mentioned with all the animals running around all the time. It's not gonna happen. So I checked out and downloaded my first audiobook, and it was called The Widow by Fiona Barton, if you were interested. And it was really good. I finished it in like 10 days. And when I returned it to the library, it gave me like these stats that said that I've opened it like 17 times and I finished it in 10 days and all this stuff. So that was really cool. So if you're looking for a way to read in it at the same time, audiobooks are where it's at. And I've also been reading a book called Six of Crows by Lehrer. And that one was recommended by Gabby from the Once Upon a Corgi podcast. And I put this book on hold September of last year, you guys. And it just became available at my library like a couple days ago. So hopefully it's good. I'm only on like chapter 5 so far. And it's not an audiobook. I'm actually having to read it myself. So I can't read it at the same time, unfortunately. But it's pretty good. I'm only on chapter 5 and things are starting to pick up already. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted on that if you're interested. The only other thing I was so good this time, you guys, and I wrote down like a list of stuff that I wanted to talk about. And I normally just kind of make a list of the projects that I want to talk about and kind of go from there. But I wrote the notes in this cute little journal I picked up from Barnes & Noble, and the pattern is the like design is from Rifle Paper Company, which I love. I can pick them out from like miles away. I'll zone in on a product that has their their designs on it, and I love just everything. I have a couple of project bags that I've shown you guys that have Rifle Paper Company. I love them so much. But anyway, I wrote down stuff I want to talk about this time. So the only other thing I wanted to talk about is that I'm getting really excited for, I really want to work through the whip basket because I'm trying so hard not to cast new things on until I at least make a sizable dent in the whip basket. So I'm having a really hard time because everyone's showing these really pretty things on their podcasts, and I so want to cast them on like right away. I think that's my problem. That's probably why I have a huge basket of unfinished projects, is I just move on to the next thing. And I don't know why. I don't know why I am this way. This is just how I am. I don't know. But one of the things that I've really been wanting to knit are the Felix Pullover, which I forgot to look up who the designers were. I think the Felix Pullover is Amy Christoffers, but I will put the information on the screen at the bottom. And maybe I'll throw in a picture if I'm feeling up to the editing that requires. But that is such a pretty pullover sweater, and the major like design feature is there's like eyelets on the raglan shaping, and other than that it looks like it's pretty straightforward raglan sweater. And it's so pretty. I have seen Voolenvine, Kristin from Voolenvine has shared hers, and it's in such a pretty color that I want to make it so bad. And then the other thing, speaking of Kristin, she has recently released a new cowl design called the Calan Cowl. And it is so pretty, and the design, the texture is just amazing. And like, I'm not a huge cowl person, but I've seen hers and I've seen Gabby's from Once Upon a Corgi, and they're so pretty. And there's beading and a couple other things, a couple other techniques that I haven't tried before, so I'm looking forward to trying those out. But other than that, that's pretty much the content for this episode, you guys. So if you liked this video, make sure that you like and share and subscribe. And if you guys have any comments, feel free to let me know. The more you guys comment, the more you guys like and share this video, the more exposure my podcast gets, so we can bring in more people that are interested in this kind of content. So until next time, you guys, happy knitting. Bye!